Yes, Grafters, it's 2018 and we're back with some round 4 action and a brand new interface. This is the interface they use in WCS, no less. So here we've got XYFusion versus Glardwin. I haven't seen any of Glardwin's work so far in this tournament. I don't know why he's not been sending me his replays, but there you have it. XYFusion we've seen before, a pretty solid Zerg player. Here he is in the top left of Ascension to Ire, and down in the bottom right there is Glardwin, our Terran player. So let's see what happens here. This is an unusual location for the supply depot, certainly against Zerg. I'd much prefer to see it here or here so that you can wall off the top of this ramp against any sort of ling rush, but no matter. Overlord on its way across the map just to have a peek at what's going on the other side. This worker is queuing up the depots here, and I don't know about that. Anyway, spawning pool is done, gas is done, so it's a spawning pool first for the Zerg player, which is fine. I'm not against that. As a Zerg player, it's always really important to get an expo up very, very quickly indeed, because all of your units come from hatcheries, so the more hatcheries you've got, the faster the production. Personally, my standard build on certainly this map, as a Zerg player, tends to be hatch first, then pool, then gas. But it doesn't matter too much as long as that hatch is not too far behind the pool. Only one worker in gas at present, so it doesn't look like he's planning any sort of very fast speedling rush. So we'll see what's going to happen here. Meanwhile, Glardwin over on this side of the map has got the barracks up, but no units coming out of that just yet. Now there are 4 lings in production, and XYFusion can send those across the map. You can certainly come and have a little look around his this Terran base, and there's nothing to stop him getting in. So, as I kind of mentioned before, I would definitely have preferred to see a complete wall off on the top of that ramp. So XYFusion, still no expand here for XY, and it's getting toward the time in the game where really you need to think about upping the number of hatcheries you've got. As you can see, this is just about saturated in terms of mineral mining, so a second base is needed. Arguably the same could be said for Glardwin, is saturated in mineral production, so needs to start thinking about expanding down into this location. Glardwin not taking any chances with getting supply block. That is a whole host of depots. He now does have the wall off, but I don't really see why you would build these here instead of your initial depots here. Anyway, Twin Racks is there. As you can see, XYFusion has got vision of the top of this ramp, and if he's looking, he'll see this Reaper come out. You don't have to lower the depot for Reapers, they're able to jump up and down this cliff. So XY just going to go in here and whoops, I just wanted to check his vision. He's just going to go in here and have a look around. This missile turret will chase the Overlord away, though, once that is complete. If I'm Glardwin, I'd be really... Overlords move at glacial speeds, really. You've got a couple of Marines here. I'd be really tempted to send them out and try and snipe this Overlord. Very frustrating to lose an Overlord in the first 5 minutes of the game. It can certainly supply block a Zerg if they're not expecting that. So the Reaper here is going to come in and try and have a look around. These lings have got speed, so on creep the Reaper will be in trouble. Off creep, oh no, got just stuck in the corner there, that's a shame. So didn't actually get any information from the Reaper other than there are a bunch of lings up, and he would have seen our roach as well. Did he see that there was an expand? Well, if he saw the creep here, so he will be able to infer that yes, there is an expand. What he won't know is that there aren't any drones mining from it at present. So a bunch of lings coming with some roaches. There is a bunker here and a missile turret. And the reason I mention the missile turret is that means the Overlord can't sort of park here and give sight to roaches. Needs to lift this depot, because you do not... Oh no, don't go down there. No, this could be bad. Oh no, and the bunker sits empty. The depot isn't even up. Get these Marines into the bunker. That's it. And you need these SCVs repairing. More Marines in the bunker, please. The reason I say put them in the bunker, they actually gain a range advantage from being in the bunker. So if you put a Marine in the bunker, it actually has slightly further range than it does on its own. So it's well worth, even if they're not directly taking fire, or if you're not worried about their health, it's still worth getting them into the bunker. Very wisely, we can see that XY is getting some Ravagers together. Now, Ravagers fire corrosive bile in a sort of high arc shot that can do serious amounts of damage. So that is a very good response to seeing a bunker at the top here. He's got the Overlord to give him sight, so Ravagers down here can fire the corrosive bile and move out of range, and that will rain down on this and actually kill it pretty quickly, or might choose to there go the corrosive biles. Not actually connecting with the bunker, but doing some damage to the Marines, and it looks like this. He's probably, if the biles land, and they do, he may well have enough to get up here. Glardwin could really do with some Marauders in this mix. Doesn't have any Marauders. Marauders would be useful here. There's only a handful of units left, and look, this Roach, very low on health, will die almost straight away. But units coming out one at a time are not going to do well. The Ghost didn't manage to cloak and is dead, and that's a shame because personal cloaking not quite finished. Needs to pull the workers and surround these, because the workers are all going to die anyway, so you need to get them working here. There is another Roach coming in. These workers could be helping that Marine out. This stuff, oh no, workers standing idle now. You do need to tell them to attack stuff, otherwise they won't auto attack in the way that Marines and stuff will. So how are we off for money here? We've got huge mineral stashes, so send the workers over here and kill this Roach. Get a bunker building for the follow-up. Those types of things. But it looks like Glardwin has held on for the time being. Nothing being built though, and it's not due to a shortage of money. I'd like to see a siege tank coming out of here. I'd love to see a nuke being built at this Ghost Academy. If you're unfamiliar with Ghosts, they are units that can cloak, and if you build a nuke here, they can, in a cloaked state, call down the nuke to strike an opponent's base, and the nuke kills every unit within a radius and does significant damage to buildings as well. So yeah, we haven't had any nukes yet in this tournament, and I would love to see some nuking. So the engineering bay is up as well, but no kind of upgrades being researched at present. We can see that there is cloaking, and actually armor has been previously researched, so not so bad. The siege tank now, one siege tank out, another being built. Don't forget to keep production up from these barracks, Glardwin. Don't forget to just, keep going back to them and build. These Marines, you see, I don't know, man. Do these, they don't tell you down here, wouldn't it, if they had stim? And I don't think they do. I don't think. Yeah, they don't. No stim, and no combat shield either, which is probably even more important. Meanwhile, over in the Zerg base, we can see an infestor pit has started, but no sign of any sort of upgrades over here either. I don't think the Roaches have speed, and there is no evolution chamber. Now, this is an awful lot of minerals to have in the bank. It's a substantial income he's got here. He's very light on gas though, so what do you do about that as a Zerg? Well, your gas income depends on the number of bases you've got. It's as simple as that. You've got a lot of minerals, so why not build a base here? And indeed, go ahead and build a base here. What's the worst could happen? You might lose that base. They cost you 300. You've got 3,000 in the bank. So even if you lose one of them, it's not that big a deal. So no reason not to be expanding here. None whatsoever. Yeah, did I see a spire somewhere? Yep. So there's the spire coming down, and actually 3 evolution chambers being built. Not sure why you'd go for 3. I suppose you can get the melee upgrade into the bargain. This overlord dropping creep here, really frustrating. No, don't shoot your own unit. Yeah. Shoot the overlord is a better plan. So it gets just away, but it takes a while for the creep to dissipate. Terran, of course, he can't just build the command center here and then when it's finished, fly it across. But this last little square of creep, you can see, just kind of slightly annoying to have to wait for that to go away. And he's building a barracks. I can't help but feel that that is a misclick or a mistap. He's tapped BB when he should have tapped BC. This definitely needs to be a command center, not a barracks. Yep. He's not done well there. The siege tanks, great that you've built a couple of them, but let's position them somewhere sensible. If you are trying to expand on here, let's get a siege tank here, a siege tank here, maybe a siege tank on the high ground here. Maybe salvage this bunker, put one down here instead. Those types of things, set up your defensive perimeter where it's going to be most useful to you. A couple of depots, maybe a bunker and a siege tank behind it is pretty tough. Back here, these siege tanks aren't really going to help anyone. So Glardwin, with not nearly as much income as the Zerg, but a relatively small bank. The XY having a pretty big bank. I'm not against mutas at any time in a game, as Zerg mutas are great units, but the key to mutas is they don't do well in a straight up fight with anything really. The key to mutas is to get up a bunch of them and send them into the back of your opponent's base, send them into the mineral line and get them doing damage. Mutas are great because they're fast, and on a map like this you can abuse this space. You can dive in here, kill a few units. If anything comes to kill you, you dive out here and then you're back in this area. Has finally realized that was a barracks, and is now building the command center in its place. So, production pretty good. Siege tanks, Marines coming out 4 at a time. Meanwhile, in Zergland, production is confined really to upgrades. No units being produced, and you've got a lot of money. You've got, idle larvae. I find that hard to excuse at the round 4 stage of the game. Why wouldn't you be holding down some button or other? You've got, is it a gas shortage? Are you trying to get these ultras out? But, hey, turn the idle larvae into something. Turn them into drones. Turn them into lings. And just suicide those lings in for any scouting or damage you can get done. Because that money in the bank does you no good. Chitinous plating being researched for ultralisks. Let me show you an ultralisk. Is there one on the map? There's 3 in production, so we should see an ultralisk shortly. A very heavy unit, a very heavily armored unit. Not just armored. Normally this chitinous plating adds an extra 2 or 3 to the armor, so these things are absolutely beastie. By the time you get upgrades done for this, you can get these things up to like 5 armor, which is just pretty insane. So +2 coming up in the production tab for our Zerg player, but still not many units really being produced, and still idle larvae lying about the place. But it looks like he's going to move out. Let's take a quick look at the army supply tab. We can see it is heavily in favor of it is heavily in favor of the Zerg player. So our Terran is going to need a well-conceived defensive position, and I think it's too late now to start moving this stuff down the ramp. He doesn't want to get caught out, so he needs to see. Oh no, I don't know, man. You need to siege up these tanks defensively. They're not sieged up. This one at the back has barely fired a shot because the other tanks are in its way. This is not an efficient trade for the Zerg by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think he's just got enough to break through here. And that's a shame, because with better positioning, the Terran maybe could have got something done. But these ultras, look how tough they are. They just kind of, they laugh at marine fire. Tank fire will do it, but there is the GG. So yeah, a couple of positioning errors really from Glardwin. It could have been a different outcome had he had his tanks in the right position, had he had SCVs repairing at the top of this ramp when the first push came, and those types of things. A couple of little things here and there, but a reasonably solid game from XY. Okay, GG. I'll get game 2 underway shortly.